Sports. I'm Sean Bass. He's David Newbury. You probably heard us on the pregame show, and we watched the first half. And I guess it could be worse because last week it was worse. Dallas allowed Baltimore to score on 3 of their 5 possessions. But we talked about it in the pregame, David. This defense, this run game for Baltimore it's just too much.
It is too much, and it's exactly what we expected. We knew that Dallas last week struggled in certain formations, especially when the offense was shifting, any type of motion, and leaving Micah Parsons unblocked so they could make some play fakes in there, and really just has this defense guessing where they're going. But the defense is undersized. It's not anything that is a surprise to us. We entered this year wondering if this Dallas had enough size to really be a team that could stop the run without the offense providing a lead for them.
Yeah.
And so far through the first couple of games, especially at home in the last 2 weeks, the answer is no. They haven't been able to stop the run. They get a physical team that is really just doing exactly what the Saints did last week.
Yeah, so far, Baltimore's run the ball for 111 yards at 5.6 per carry. Derrick Henry is getting downhill pretty easily. Lamar Jackson out on the perimeter is a problem. He has a rushing touchdown. And the secondary, when you have to play coverage a little bit longer, that plays into things. That last touchdown pass before the half, Lamar kept a play alive. And then Kalen Carson simply misses a tackle he has to make on a touchdown that should never have happened.
Yeah, and right now for the Cowboys, there's these little things that are turning into big plays. Obviously, for the Cowboys, you have CeeDee Lamb, one of your highest paid players. You got the contract extension. One of your best players coming off one of the best years any receivers ever had for the Cowboys, has a fumble as they're driving. It's a very good drive for the Cowboys. They needed to get points out of that drive. They really needed to get a touchdown, and they end up coming away with nothing. Baltimore has a play that doesn't really look that dangerous, but it turns into a big play because of a bad missed tackle.
Yeah, and, you talk about it like, I know Dak Prescott got paid. He hasn't been bad in this first half. The defense has been terrible, and the playmakers around him aren't making enough plays. I don't think his offensive line has played very well. I know that Tyler Guyton got called for a holding penalty on a defensive pass interference that offset it right before the end of the half. Honestly, that didn't look like a hold to me, but Dak is still dealing with some pressure. He's been sacked already, and this offensive line isn't creating enough holes for this ground game that leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, the ground game is going nowhere fast, and we've even seen Dallas try to do some of the runs that are actually outside passes. The pass they had a lead blocker on.
Which I like that design.
Yeah, they had to do anything they can to try to get some easy yards and easy throws. Dak, it just feels like everything Dallas tries to do on offense is very hard. Every throw is contested. Every throw is a tight window throw, and it doesn't seem like there's very many easy completions. No. And really, the only thing the Cowboys can hang their hat on is that they have the best kicker in the NFL and maybe NFL history.
Dude,
Brandon Aubrey is a machine.
Second longest field goal in NFL history with a 65-yarder in the first quarter, which you made the point as we were all in there watching it together. Can you ever remember a 60-yard field goal in the first quarter? It usually happens at the end of games or at the end of halves. This guy's an absolute cyborg. And then he hits a 51-yarder before the end of the half, and I think he's now,
15 to 15
15
from 50 yards.
That's just
NFL record.
It's insane. And, that's a strong suit. And we talked about a lot in the pregame show about, okay, we felt like Baltimore was probably the better team. The matchup doesn't favor Dallas, but you wanted to see professionalism. You didn't want to see quit. You wanted to see fight, the disposition, the body language, which kind of went out the door against the Saints last week. I think that's what I'm looking for in the second half. I don't expect Dallas to come back and win this game. I just don't. I expect the defense to give up more points. However, I do want to see some fight. I want to see them try their hardest. I want to see them try to claw their way back in this game. And I kind of feel like the next 2 quarters is going to say a lot about just the disposition for the rest of the season. Because if Dallas falls today, which they could, they'll be 1-2. But how will they respond in this game? How will they respond the rest of the season with their head coach who's a lame duck situation with no contract?
No, we are looking to see that. I will say that if there is a small silver lining, it was that while the defense got off to a really bad start, allowing touchdowns on their first 2 drives, they did come up with 2 stops, which is progress. And then at the very end, when it didn't look like they had a chance to get any really type of points, they were really close to having a play on the 1 yard line
Yeah.
with 5 seconds left. So the offense really gave it the old college try there to get it down to the 1 yard line. I felt like it was a bad call, but it's really not going to make a big difference in the end. What do you have in the second half,
Yeah.
Dallas? Because are you going to show your belly? Are you going to come out here, lay an egg, and show the rest of the NFL that, you know what, they are right, you're not that tough? Or are you going to fight?
Because the defense is going to be on the field first.
Yep.
And they gave up an 8-play, 88-yard drive on their last defensive sequence in the first half. You have to do better. You have to get them off the field. If it's 3rd down and 8, you need to just somehow by hook or crook get off the field, because there were so many times in the first half where, Baltimore was able to convert, 2 of 4 on 4th down. That at 3rd down, that's not so bad. Dallas was 4 of 8 on 3rd down, but it just feels like, even though they've run the same amount of plays, it feels like one has been such an uphill fight, and the other one is steaming downhill with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson.
Dallas has got to find a way to get victories on 1st and 2nd down to give their pass rush just a chance to do something on 3rd down. Because Lamar Jackson will fumble the ball.
Yep.
He does have turnovers every once in a while, but if you're going to make life this easy on him on 1st and 2nd down, then who cares about 3rd down?
It's pretty crazy that Lamar Jackson is 2 quarters away from going 21-1 against the NFC in his career,
insane.
which is nuts. So hopefully we'll learn a little bit something about this Cowboys team in the second half. Definitely be by the channel for post-game show. You're going to have Matt, you're going to have Donnie, and one Craig Jr. Miller, so that should be a lot of fun, win or lose. So thanks for tuning in to us, and listen to The Ticket. We appreciate you.